Greetings to all my tech heads out there in the KevTechify Nation, and if you're new here, welcome. In this episode, we're going to look at OSPF packets. We'll be discussing the type of OSPF packets, link state updates, and finally, hello packets. This episode is part of my series on enterprise networking, security, and automation. I'm Kevin, here at KevTechify. Let's get this adventure started. There are 5 types of OSPF packets, 1 through 5. A lot of people call them by the type number, type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or by the packet name. We're going to talk about each one of these quickly. First one here is the type 1. It's the hello packet. That's what the routers use to discover other routers, to discover their adjacencies, to see if they're connected to other routers. That is the first step. Then type 2 is our DBD, our database descriptor. This is used to synchronize the databases between them. It's an abbreviated copy of the full database, so it's not the entire database, it's an abbreviated copy. And it sends this out to the other routers. The other routers take that. When they go through and look at this database description, if they see one that's different than what they have, they can go ahead and send out a link state request, the LSR. The link state request is saying, okay, you have this link listed in your database descriptor. I want some more information about it. You send out that LSR, then that other router responds with a link state update, an LSU. That is the response to an LSR. Now, for the link state updates, there are several types of link state announcements that can be sent in this link state update. And then finally, because OSPF likes to complete that conversation and acknowledge that it received the data, we have the link state acknowledgements. Link state acknowledgements will acknowledge anything except for a hello and another acknowledgement. Before we talk about link state updates, let's go back and see where we are. Right here, we have our database description. That's sent out after the hello is there. It's an abbreviated list of all the networks and connections and link states that a router has. It sends to another router. The other router receives it and looks it in and says, hey, this network is of interest to me. It's different than my records. I'm going to send out a link state response. That link state response gets sent back to that original router and says, hey, I want some more information about this specific record. Then that router is going to send a link state update, and in there's going to be a link state advertisement. Well, it could be a link state advertisement, or it could be an OSPF message about a new network or a new connection coming online. But a lot of times it's these link state announcements. If you like this episode on OSPF packets and you get value out of it, and depending upon the platform you're using, please click that like button, give a 5-star rating, leave a comment. Doing this supports the channel, which in turn helps me bring you more great content. Subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell. You can also visit my website at KevTechify.com for all of my details and how to get these episodes in video and podcast form. Let's talk a little bit about the OSPF hello packet. There are 2 parts to the OSPF hello packet. The first one is the OSPF packet header. And the second part is the OSPF hello packet. These OSPF hello packets have parameters that 2 OSPF routers have to agree upon to keep their adjacency, to keep that communication working. Another function of the OSPF hello packet is to elect the DR, the designated router, and the BDR, the backup designated router. And this is only on that multi-access networks using technologies like Ethernet. On a point-to-point serial connection, we don't have the designated router and the backup designated router. First field to look at here in our OSPF hello packet is up in the OSPF packet header is the type. And that's the type of OSPF message. That's that hello type, that database descriptor, the DBD, or the LSR, a link state request, or the LSU, the link state update, or even that link state acknowledgement. Here, this is a one saying this is going to be a hello packet. Then we have the router ID. That's a 32-bit dotted decimal notation, typical IP address, that uniquely identifies the router that created this message, that created this hello. Then we have the area ID, which is the OSPF area number of where this hello packet originated. We have the network mask, which is our subnet mask that is associated with the sending interface. Then we have the hello interval, which specifies in seconds how often a hello message is sent to its neighbors. The default timer on a multi-access like Ethernet, that is 10 seconds. We have the router priority. That is used in the designated router and the backup designated router election process. The default priority for all OSPF routers is 1, but you can manually change this with a value of 0 to 255. And the higher the number, the better it is to become the designated router. Then we have the dead interval. This is the amount of time a router will wait until it says, you neighbor are a dead service. And by default, the dead interval is 4 times the hello interval. And if you take the default hello interval of 10 seconds, that means the dead interval is 40 seconds by taking all of the defaults. Then we have the designated router. This is the label, this is the ID of the router, of the designated router. Then we have the BDR, the backup designated router. This is the router ID, the label of our backup designated router. And then finally, we have the list of routers, and it's just as it sounds. It's the list of all adjacent routers. It was my pleasure to provide you with this wonderful episode on OSPF packets. If you like this episode and you got value out of it, and of course, depending upon what platform you're using, please click that like button, give a 5-star rating, leave a comment. This all helps me bring you more great content. Please take a minute to subscribe to my channel. All of my socials and contact information are on my website, KevTechify.com. You can get all these episodes in video and podcast form. In the upper right is my playlist for my series on enterprise networking, security, and automation. In the bottom right is one of my favorite episodes that I picked just for you. Thank you so much for watching this episode of my series on enterprise networking, security, and automation. Once again, I'm Kevin. This is KevTechify. I'll see you next time for another great adventure.